We're here.
Live from the Milky Way galaxy.
Hi, everyone. It's Wufo again, and we're here with Goblin Mode and Why UFO Con. Oh, wait, what is that? Is that like
Yukon Cornelius.
UFO
Cornelius.
UFO Con Cornelius?
Okay. Why UFO Con Cornelius?
Yeah.
You know Yukon Cornelius, right?
No, who's that?
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like the claymation one.
Oh, okay.
He's like the prospector.
Oh, okay. When you did that, now I know who you're talking about.
He was always hunting for the or running from the abominable snowman, the Bumble, that he as he called it.
Yeah, and we have lots of people here today. I see Sarah, Lindsay, Kiki, Alex. Yeah. Oh, there's Rachel.
So, do you ever watch Romper Room? Is that,
that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Like maybe that's aging me.
No, where they would say where they talk to everyone in the audience.
They'd have like a magic mirror. Like she'd be like, "I'm gonna look into my magic mirror and see who I see," and it would be like, "I see Steve and Alan and Becky," and eventually they'd say your name, and you'd be like, "She saw me."
We need to do that. This needs to be part of our routine.
Yeah, we need a magic mirror.
Yeah, I'm so glad to be doing this again.
Me too. And so glad everybody's still with us after our long break. So thanks for bearing with us over our long break. It really was just a series of like one thing after another. But we like to, we've said it before. We don't want to ever feel like we have to always be doing this and creating content, and because as soon as it becomes not fun, it's like,
yeah,
not fun. So we're all ready to have some fun.
Yeah. Does anyone have snacks? So there's a snack report from everyone.
Oh yeah.
I brought something special. I got at a grocery outlet. Fruit Brute. And I think that's a Dogman or werewolf. I don't know what the difference is. Does Dogman just have a dog head from the top up, or are they kind of the same thing?
I think that the differentiation that I've heard is that wolfmen shape shift.
Okay.
And dogmen are always dogmen. So
they're more cryptid-y. They're a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like that he's got painted fingernails.
That's true. He does.
I love it.
That's.
I haven't tried this yet. I was gonna try it live on air.
I shouldn't actually even know is
what?
We're using he/him pronouns for the.
Oh yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even know if that's appropriate.
Yeah.
Trader Joe's dark chocolate orange sticks. Those are so good. You know what I like along those same lines from Trader Joe's is their chocolate covered ginger. Have you had that?
I like their candied ginger. I don't necessarily like it chocolate, but I respect that other people like it. I am kind of a chocolate purist. With the exception of caramel, I kind of like my chocolate to just I like dark, kind of plain chocolate. I don't really like fruit things in it. I'll accept nuts, but I don't eat them.
What are your thoughts on hot chocolate then? In that case, meh.
I every now and then some place is doing a special Mexican style hot chocolate that's spicy. Then I'm into it, but otherwise, meh.
I went to Oaxaca for my honeymoon, and there's a whole alley of chocolate factories where they're making it right there in the stalls or whatever, and people drink it for breakfast. It's like chocolate milk for breakfast, not hot milk, hot chocolate with bread dipped in it. It's amazing. I was like, I'm moving here. This is It's amazing.
Yeah, I don't like Hershey style chocolate. I can't do it. Like it's got to be like 80% cocoa, like pure for me, and like there's got to be chili powder involved. There's a place here in town called Chocolati that does hot chocolate. Like it's a hot chocolate coffee shop basically, but they do hot chocolate, and they have like a it's all it like it the consistency is almost like just straight melted chocolate with like habanero in it, and that's like the tastiest, like yummiest kind of hot chocolate for me.
Like more of like a drinking chocolate kind of. Yeah, fancy. Yeah. Put your pinky up when you drink it.
Well, Trader Joe's ever make candied cheese? There are sweet cheeses, though. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Kai?
Oh, I was going to say, I've had some like Stiltons that have like candied apricot or like little bits of like candied fruit in them, I feel like. I just also was going to shout out, unrelatedly, CJ snacking on some club crackers and bacon ranch. We got some jalapeno chips. We got some veggie wonton soup, cold pizza, kombucha.
Yeah.
Just celebrating the snacks. That's all.
Yeah, I think there's like a Norse or other Scandinavian dessert cheese that's like a sweet cheese. I'm going to have to check this out now.
Huh.
That doesn't sound familiar, but I'm not an expert on everything.
There's a person on TikTok. Sorry, this is reminding me of something. She lives in England and she was trying ranch for the first time. Have you seen this woman? And like she's now like obsessed with ranch. But people send her stuff from the US and she tries it, and she tried like a US chocolate and it made her like sick because there's something, and I don't know if this is true, but she was talking about how it's like a phenomenon or something. There's something in the chocolate that we have that is not in British chocolate, and so we're used to it, but they're not, and it makes them it resembles the taste of like barf, and so like it's like it was physically making her ill, but like for some reason like we are used to it. I don't know if this is true or urban legend, but that's what she was talking about. But she was like getting sick from eating it. She couldn't deal. So
I mean, there's all sorts of weird stuff. The thing I recently learned that has ruined things for me is the reds, the like extra red stuff they put on like flamin' hot Cheetos, Takis, like all of that good stuff is it's made from petroleum. It's a petroleum-based product. And so now I can't eat any of these things because every time I like go to put them in my mouth or like lick my like red dusty fingers, I'm just like I'm eating dead dinosaurs.
That makes me think of, there's always been like an urban legend, or there was when I was growing up, I think about people who would eat Vaseline on toast.
What?
Like who would spread like a thin layer of Vaseline on toast. That's what the Flaming Lips song is about.
Oh,
like she don't use
jelly.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. I've never heard that.
Vaseline. It's like like spread like super thing.
Wow, I never knew that song was. We're learning things here.
Your lard pot with your Vaseline pot? Like, how does that happen?
I have no idea. It's just, I mean, I don't know if it's one of those things that's, somebody did it once and then everybody's like, oh yeah, my aunt ate Vaseline on toast, my great aunt, and then the legend.
Now I've got that song in my head. I'm not mad at that.
So I looked it up. There is a dessert cheese. It's from Norway and it's called Gjetost. And what it is they take whey from the cheese making process, which contains like most of the leftover sugars, and they boil it down until it caramelizes basically. And then this one site says they describe it as a a 3-way between cheese, caramel, and fudge.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I'm really into that.
And you can get it, I guess, in like I've seen it, I think, before in U.S. grocery stores, but I think we're gonna have to acquire some of this for the next Wufo.
Sounds good.
Janet said that she's allergic to U.S. chocolate. There's something that tastes weird in it, because after having like eaten nice chocolate for quite a while, and then like I got like a bag of whatever for Halloween, and of course I had to, sample it and make sure it was safe for the children. And like none of it tastes as good as it did when I was a kid.
Well, I've thought that recently too, and I just don't know if it's like, am I just getting old and I just don't, or has it changed? Has it like, because it doesn't, like a Reese's peanut butter cup does not do the same thing for me anymore.
No.
In fact, it's like I don't want one. But when I was a kid, I loved it so much, and I'm just wondering if it's changed or not, or can I just have a more refined palate now? And I don't know.
It's alkaline, says Janet. That's a good description. Like it tastes alkaline. I can see that. I think I did hear though that they changed the recipe at some point for some reason.
Huh.
I don't know.
It tastes really waxy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not good waxy either. Like wax lips are good.
Yeah. I was immediately. Do you remember those little bottles that were wax bottles? And
yes,
they had like blue juice or green juice.
Totally.
Those were so good.
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one more thing. I wanted to show this comment. Taro coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I have never heard of that, but I'm so intrigued.
I love taro. That sounds good.
And I'm wondering, like, is it like dandelion coffee or something? Like, have you ever had dandelion coffee? Like dandelion roasted dandelion fruit?
Yeah.
There's coffee with taro in it. I am very intrigued.
When I've tried, I don't know if this is the same thing, but I got, it was called tea chino, I think, if I remember correctly. But it had like a little bit of chicory and taro, and I can't remember exactly what else. But it was super yummy and kind of it did have a little bit of like it was like chocolate meets Cafe Du Monde coffee.
Oh yeah, Cafe Du Monde.
Now I want that. And beignets. It's Mardi Gras, or Mardi Gras was yesterday.
That's right. So yeah. My local store, when I went grocery shopping, they actually had crawdads for Mardi Gras.
Wow.
I've never seen them for sale before anywhere up here, and they actually had them, and they were really cheap. They were like, I mean, they're usually pretty cheap, but I wouldn't expect them to be as cheap as they were here. So now I have some in the freezer, like they're frozen, and I'm like, how am I going to make these?
Hell yeah!
Boil them in butter.
A shrimpy adjacent celebration.
I'm going to close my ears to this conversation.
Fig coffee.
Yeah, fig coffee. I saw that.
That sounds good too. All right. Sorry.
No. So we have some things planned to talk about tonight. We have, I mean, there's so much that happened over the month we haven't been streaming, but all the balloon stuff, and there's some other weird stuff that came out today. Yeah. Kind of related to that, and something that washed up on shore in Japan. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to play a game with everyone. I think that, like kind of a writing experimental investigation thing. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later. First, we have a couple announcements. Do you want to talk about the Weird Words writing workshop?
Yes.
happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that, Kai?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the second of many, hopefully, Weird Words writing gatherings is happening tomorrow. It starts at 5:30 Pacific, which is 8:30 Eastern, and all the in-betweens in between. Last time we did prompts that were inspired by the Liminal Earth map. This time we're using tarot as prompts. So should be a fun time. I think I just added somebody earlier today to the invitation, but if you haven't signed up already, there is a link. If you follow me on any of the socials, you can find
it's right there. Actually, it's on the scrolling banner. If you just go to that, I'll take you to the form.
Garrett made a fancy thing. Thank you. So yeah, it's happening tomorrow. It happens last Thursday of every month. And if anybody can't make the time for whatever reason, it's still worth signing up because I do a pretty detailed agenda with all the writing prompts. So you can use them whenever you want. You don't have to play along live with us.
That's great.
Sarah has a question for you.
No. If you signed up before, like you should, I added you to the Google Calendar invite, and you should have a invite for every month that has the Zoom link. Yeah, and you don't have to sign up more than once. But
it was super fun last time. I loved it. You did great. It was so fun. And one of the things we did, if you didn't see, is that we picked a random story from the Liminal Earth map because there's like a button you can click on the website, and then you get a map story. And then we did blackout poems where you cross out words and just leave words behind, and turn it into like a poem that way. And I just, in doing that, I feel like it was like revealed this kind of like new technique that we could use, like for like investigating a place, because it's like someone gave this like long account, but then when you go through and you kind of cut back what they're saying with all the decorative parts of it, for me, you see this other, for me, I saw this other layer of what this person was talking about. It's just like the essentials. And you see it in maybe a different fractal way or something. So I just thought it was a really interesting way of using that. I don't know. It was fun.
Oh, Sarah, I haven't updated the agenda, but I will add one for this week tomorrow morning because I'm running behind. But yeah, it'll be in the same document. But yeah, it was super fun. I had a similar experience, Garrett. The story that I did was a time travel one, and I found myself just kind of really drawn to a lot of the words about time, and it really did kind of it gave me a much more visceral sort of experience of what was being described. Like you said, when you cut away all of the kind of extraneous stuff. I wrote up a little post about it on weirdwords.org. If you go there, you can see the list of everybody's posts that has an account, and mine's just posted today or yesterday, so should be close to the top. And you can check out other people's stuff too.
Yeah, and if you want a Weird Words account, let us know, because you can get your own. It's just like we made this thing that people can have like their own blog at weirdwords.org. Mm-hmm. So reach out to us. It's really simple. Just it's just kind of text, and it looks cool. So.
Oh, and we figured out how to add comments to it.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, it's through Discus, which isn't the greatest commenting system in the universe, but it's functional, so people can leave comments on it now.
Oh, cool.
We'll you have to kind of fiddle with the code in the back end a little bit, but we can. It's actually pretty easy. I mean, I was able to do it, so.
Yeah, Kiki, you should get a blog. Everyone should. It's fun. It's cool to see. And I think we want people to be talking about all this. It'd be so cool if all this community of people who have all these weird ideas are all writing about it and sharing.
Yeah, and so we're giving them out for free too. I mean, just if you want one, let us know.
The other thing that's cool about it, I mean, it hooks into Mastodon in a way, because it's also just kind of like Mastodon. So if you are on Mastodon, you can see the blog post there. You can actually link, it's almost like an RSS feed. So it's all part of this new world of like, the Fediverse or whatever. Yeah. So that's a cool thing. So that's tomorrow. And if you sign up below, you can come join the workshop. The other thing is, the donate link for this week. You want to talk about that? That's set up too.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So selfishly, kind of, this is the donate link this week is for a friend of mine who, for a variety of reasons, really needs a new bed frame and mattress. And because of some of their physical disability needs, that it needs to be kind of a specific one that's kind of expensive. It's over $6,000. So what I am hoping to do is get them a new bed that is not causing them like ongoing trauma and harm. And I started it last year and then I got distracted. And so I'm recommitting myself to that particular project. And yeah, it would just mean so much. This person is like really amazing member of the community and helps out so many other people and doesn't ever complain about what's going on, but had a really awful thing happen to them. And this would just make things a lot better. So if you can donate or share the link or send some magic in the universe about it, any of that is much appreciated.
Yeah, so it's right there. Wufo.watch donate. Okay. So where should we?
I was just noticing there are some other people who are commenting about Mastodon and such, and I wanted to also extend the offer to help anybody who has questions about it. We're happy to help with that, because I think we're actually going to be doing a lot of what we do more on these like Fediverse platforms for, I guess you call them platforms, right? Just it seems to align a little better with our own values, and like we're not trying to like shame people for staying on Twitter if that's where they need to be, but like anybody who wants to kind of move more in that direction and is having any issues with it, or wants to be boosted more or stuff like that, just let us know.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a different way of doing things than we're all used to. It took me a while to realize what it even is. And I actually wrote some stuff up that I haven't posted yet, because I think I'm hoping if people understand it more, because there's some things you have to kind of learn how to do and how to interact with it. But in my opinion, just using it, I feel like I'm like a convert or something, but I feel like it's such a happier vibe there for me. And it's like pleasurable to actually engage with people there.
Yeah.
So it's not the same thing as Twitter. It's not like that's just like there's always so much stuff going on. It's just slower paced, but I think it's better overall. So yeah.
That would be really fun, actually, to do like a Mastodon / Fediverse like Skillshare, like.
Yeah.
You also found that like the book tracking one.
Yeah, like I think there's almost like a what's that parallel to like any like big thing that you use, Instagram, Goodreads. There's like YouTube. There's a Fediverse equivalent that people are working on. Mastodon is just kind of the one everyone talks about because it's like the Twitter clone. It's easy to get that. But all of this there's all this other stuff that all works together. And it's just like, I just like the idea of like people owning this and like communities like helping each other and like, making their own determination about how they want their social media to work, and they don't, certain people, or certain things they don't want to be exposed to or have to deal with. Anyway.
Yeah. So, but I love that idea. I think let's plan on that. Like, let's do, I don't even mind taking point on it because it sounds like so much fun. We can just Zoom, like screen share, like here's how it works, and yay. Happy goodness.
I really only got on Twitter to hang out with y'all, including everybody in the comments and watching, and hadn't. Like I used to run socials for work, and when I quit doing that, I kind of had taken a more or less hiatus from a lot of them. And Mastodon feels like fun again. It feels like the old internet back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, when you were just like finding random people from very different backgrounds from all over the world who you can like connect about, like, oh, we both are into like moss. Great. There's a hashtag for that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, maybe we should stop proselytizing.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. But you both have like some show and tell stuff that's really cool.
Yeah.
Can we do that real quick? That has nothing to do with Fediverse, promise.
I'm gonna let Kai. I'm gonna run and grab something. I'm gonna let Kai go first.
Yeah.
So I stole this from Jeremy. Jeremy posted about these Shona wheels, and I was like, that's really cool. I need to get one. Jeremy has done more poking around on the website, which is pretty cool. But they're meant to function kind of like a Ouija board. So all of these things that kind of look like runes at first glance are actually stylized letters. And it spins. So you can, like, instead of the planchette moving around, the letters on this move, and you are kind of holding onto the base of it. And it also has like a scrying mirror in the middle, which was part of the reason that I got it, because I was like, ooh, I've never played with a scrying mirror. This sounds like fun. But TBH, I got it, and I haven't really used it very much, other than I dropped it and had to glue it back together.
Oh no.
But it's fine. It's fully functional. I just need somebody to hang out with me and play with it. Yeah. Kiki is totally a scrying mirror in the middle.
Yeah, it's even intended to be. Like, there's a, when you get it, it comes in this sort of fancy box, and one of the coolest things about it for me is that, like, it's a mystery where it comes from, like who created it. It's de-identified. You get it on Etsy, and like they don't have their name anywhere. There's a website though, and there's this whole, like, the website is wild. Like, there's this whole philosophy behind it, and but it does talk about, like, it says you get this code. It says, if you dare play alone, make space for an entity to be present, hide any recording devices and dim your setting, hold the shunya wheel by the tip from the bottom, gaze into the scrying glass and focus on the dark void, begin communication and wait for the triangle base to move. And it does. Like, it moves if you hold it from the bottom, like like this, it'll start moving. Oh, yeah, it's going pretty wild for me right now. Look, you can see.
Oh.
I mean, it's the same, I'm sure
Like
it's
a
the
pendulum.
same. Anybody who is going to like poo-poo Ouija boards will also poo-poo this, but it's so cool. Like, it's just like to watch it move is really neat. So I can't wait to use it a little more. And then it's got, it comes with instructions but yeah, it's cool. The Shunya wheel.
Can you spell that?
SHOONYA. Yeah, there you go.
For my visual friends out there.
Did you see?
Oh yeah.
Matching.
We need yours. We need to get you one.
I think I got rid of mine. A paper.
Oh well.
Your temporary eyeball.
Jeremy, you also had the grimoire too.
Right? Yeah, this was kind of cool. So I went to Portland this past weekend. We had a family trip, which was lovely. And we got to meet Kai for sushi, which was also fun. But I went to Powell's, and for those of you who don't know or haven't been, Powell's is like the largest bookstore in the world, like literally. And they have like a great section on like metaphysics and all that kind of stuff. But I picked up some great books. I can show a couple off actually. So I got like the Book of English Magic, and it's like huge. Like this, it's all about like a survey of magic in England from like early times to the modern day. What else did I get? Oh, I got this. So this is out of print. This is like the origin of board games and magic and divination. So like all the tools of divination that ended up becoming board games. And it goes into like chess and Pachisi and like tic-tac-toe, but it also has like how all the old divinatory systems like worked that way.
That's so cool.
Like Nine Men's Morris and stuff like this. It'll tell you how to do divination with like Nine Men's Morris, and it's all just about games. So, but I got this copy of the Grimorium Verum, which is one of the infamously like freaky, like go to a graveyard and dig up a skull and, and yeah, it's got weird. But there's some weird stuff in here. There's a way to like summon a spectral green butterfly that will like make you invisible, and it's even got like it's really an interesting grimoire.
We need to have a weekend play date. I want to do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Actually, that's a good idea. Let's summon that for sure. So I was flipping through it. A lot of it is similar, like to most grimoires, like King Solomon and seals and magical symbols and sigils. And but I was flipping through, and like I noticed that the book kept opening by itself to a page, and the page it's like warped, like it got wet. So you can kind of see, like, when a page gets wet, and it's got like the spell that was wet, or the page that was wet has a spell for the magical secret for speaking with the dead. So, necromancy. But then on the opposite page, somebody has written in pencil, and of course it's going to be mirrored, holy water with like a colon. And what I'm wondering is, like, did somebody try to exorcise this book? You think?
And they put holy water on it?
That's what I'm wondering. Did they put holy water like on here because they were so freaked out by it? It's so weird. And there's some other fun things in here too. Like, there's a lot of the pages are dog-eared, which is really interesting. Like, there's a dog ear on this page that's a list of other grimoires. But the other thing I thought, let me see if I can find, this is really interesting to me. I just noticed this today. Let's see. I should have marked this page, but I forgot. It's there's like it's like a list of spirits or demons that you can summon. The Kabbalah of the Green Butterfly. Here we go. So this is the spirits that you can summon, right? It's got their name and their seal and their sigil and all that in the process. But this one over here, there's like a check mark next to it. And so I have to wonder, does that mean like they want to summon it, or are they going through and like as they summon, like, okay,
that like was crossing off their bucket list? Like,
yeah,
we took care of that one. That's amazing.
The one that's and it's also this page is also dog-eared, and this one's called Kepoth. It says he makes 1,000 turns like dancing with your companions. He can make you hear beautiful music which you believe is real. He will give you, if you want, a whisper in passing, and say in your ear the cards of those playing with you. So, like, I guess to cheat at gambling or something like that.
Ooh.
But all of the language in this one is really it's kind of like poetic sounding like that. Like he makes 1,000 turns like dancing with your companions. So yeah, used grimoires. It's worth getting them because you never know what happens.
Yeah. So
I also got this. I haven't actually read this yet, but it's pretty famous as the Pharmacognosis. It's about like the poison plant path. So it's got like peyote and morning glory and amanita and all that good stuff in there. But it's written in a very almost like free verse. The whole book. So that's another one I'm really looking forward into getting into, because I've totally become a convert to like Amanita muscaria as a. I should thank Kai for that, for turning me on to the idea of microdosing with it. Because it's great. It's
one
great.
of the reasons I or like one of the things I did to like celebrate Wufo coming back was do my special Wufo tincture mix with my. I got some UFO water and some mushrooms and some fly agaric and some blue lotus from Jagged Path as well. Also, I don't know if you all saw in the comments, CJ calling that grimoire your book of friends, but I think that is genius.
Yeah.
I think we need to do that butterfly thing. I think that
yeah.
I think that sounds like a.
Yeah, let me look it up. I'm just trying to see. Let's see. Oh yeah, you have to say the oration of the salamanders, light a fire of alderwood, pour brandy on it. Yeah, there's nothing horrifying in that particular ritual. No, you don't have to like dig up a skull or anything. So
okay.
I think we could do it. I think we should do it.
Yeah. Well, that's looking good.
All right.
So do we want to talk about the balloon stuff at all? Do you have anything to share about that?
I mean, other than the UFO Twitter dumpster fire that
I have not seen what people are that crowd is talking about.
Oh, you don't need to.
But today there was this thing that happened where a big sphere like came up on the beach in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? It kind of looks like a buoy or something, but I think it's like really big.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't look that much into it. I saw that there's pictures of there's like tape is taped off and whatever. But what it reminded me is that case that happened like in the early 1800s in Japan, where some big spherical thing came up on the beach, and the accounts say like this woman was part of it who had like red hair with like white tips or something, and she I think she had like a box with her or something, and I think that they ended up just putting her back in the sphere and like let her float away. Like that's like part of the they just like sent her back on her way. But then the weirdest, so it reminded me of that, and I posted, and then I think John was saying like he thought the same thing, and he looked it up, and that account that happened in 1803 was on February 22nd. So it's like the same day is when this new sphere has reemerged on the Japanese coastline.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And and that with all the UFO stuff, it's just, or the balloon UFO stuff, I'm just like
that article that John shared, though, it did like acknowledge the fact that like this thing, although it is like unidentified, was never observed flying, and kind of falls into that weird like submarine style like USO kind of category. Not to be like purist about it, but
yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, it's called. This is the name of it. If you want to look it up and look at, there's pictures of it of the one from the early 1800s.
Yeah, hollow boat.
It also reminds me of the well, there's this person that Jeremy Goro Dachi.
Yes, yeah.
There's this person. I can't vouch for it 100%, but he was writing this stuff back when Jeremy and I were writing blogs, and he was all about this idea of like multi-contextual thoughts or something, or I think that's what he called it. But just that, like, I don't know, it was hard to understand his point of view, but it's almost like he said like there's things in our pop culture, in our government, and just the news that like will show up and they'll kind of like almost like repeat themselves or reinforce each other and form themes. And it seemed to me he wasn't implying that it was intentional on anyone's part, but it was almost like we kind of, I don't know, it's almost like the fabric of reality kind of repeats itself or something. I don't know, maybe.
Well, it was like synchro mysticism, but not like the shitty kind. Like not it was like he had this whole thing with like time rivers, I think, where like there's different like time, like rivers, like instead of thinking of time as a circle or as a line or as like splitting alternate timelines, they're more like rivers that like intersect each other. And so the river that you're on might have tributaries, and it might come from tributaries that other time, like, I know I'm not probably doing justice to it, but because he was really way more spot on about a lot of this stuff than a lot of people who I've seen. But then he ended up like justifiably so going behind a paywall, and when he did that, I kind of lost touch with it. But like there was the super torch ritual.
Yeah, he's talking about like the Olympics and how that's like this ritual with and like what happens at the Olympic, like when they talk, or a good example, like the Super Bowl too, like the Super Bowl halftime show, like what happens there, like will often have repeating patterns and other things, Yeah. Even like it was almost like collective unconscious in the real world,
It's not because it's like a conspiracy or the Illuminati or something. It's more like patterns that you can observe if you follow his theory.
Yeah. And I was so like when the Super Bowl happened, I was like, and all this balloon stuff, I was like, I'm waiting for the commercial that has a big giant, balloon. I know there's gonna be a balloon, and there was a U2 like U2 at Las Vegas ad where there was this big sphere like floating over the city, and they were talking about it like it was a UFO. I was like, I mean, that's exactly the kind of thing he would say, look for this. It's going to be showing up because it's showing up in all these places. Anyways, it just reminds me of that. I don't know if that's true. It's just this theory of this person or whatever. But this thing with the ball and the balloons, it just seems like some new pattern or something's going on with this, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just weird. It's a weird time.
Yeah, if you go to supertorchritual.com, you can see some of, and obviously take it with a grain of salt. Like
I've been reading it lately. I don't know what he's talking about. So
same here. Yeah.
What if instead of time being like rivers or like, these rivulets, what if it is more complicated than that? And it's like the whole water cycle, like that whole system. So what if like some of these like NDE experiences, or like people who are able to like recall past life and some of those phenomena, like what if that kind of translates to like time in which the water has like evaporated and is up like collecting.
Yeah, it's almost like liminal ecology.
Yeah, it is. And that reminds me of the other, like, did y'all see the theory that I have now about the balloons, about what they are?
Oh, you should say
it's genius. Please tell
us. There's this so those of you who are familiar with Wufo, our regular watchers, I remember that there is an ecosystem like in the atmosphere, in the troposphere, I think, and it's basically microbial. So fungus and bacteria and all of those things hanging up there, and it got me thinking, like, what's to stop those microorganisms from forming colonies somehow, like symbiotic colonies of like bacteria and yeast, which are also known as scobies, and that's what we make kombucha out of. And so I'm thinking, like, what if there are giant kombucha scobies floating around in the sky right now?
Yeah.
And they're getting shot down by jets.
Do you think that one could get so big that we could travel inside it like Moya from
Farscape?
Yeah. Like, what if we could live inside a giant flying SCOBY?
That
would be awesome.
This reminds me, a couple months ago, we were totally talking about sending a weather balloon up to go, like,
that's right,
to like try to harvest some of that bacteria and stuff up there and we're going to try to make beer or something out of it. But yeah, like maybe someone is just doing that. They're doing what we were trying to do.
Yeah, and of course, CJ mentioned the anime, the Mushishi, that we've mentioned a number of times here, which is, that's like, microbes as kami spirit deities. This, or Shippo, I guess from Inuyasha, a giant balloon form. Pretty cool.
So cool. Also, because I'm trolling the comments all the time, I cannot let this episode pass without calling out the story that Sarah shared, which is my sister found a grimoire with a spell that had a footnote that said, for naked rituals, if you have nosy neighbors, wear a loose tunic or you will be visited by the police.
That is hilarious.
Are you doing, I guess maybe you're doing them outside, but like otherwise, like, I don't know, close your damn curtains.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Luckily in Oregon, you can be naked anywhere as long as you're protesting something and you're not like being like sexual in any way. Fun fact.
I don't know what the laws are up here. Not that I'm gonna give it a try anytime soon.
Well, have you ever done I don't know if Seattle has a naked bike ride, but
they do.
I got briefed on all of the Oregon laws while participating in the World Naked Bike Ride. The first and only year that I've done it, I did 42 miles naked. And and that was enough.
No, there's one here as part of the there's a spring solstice parade in a neighborhood called Fremont that they've been doing for like probably since the 70s or so, and they have like a crowd of naked bike riders, and it used to be that like the police would chase them down, and yeah, they usually have body paint, but I think now it's become more of kind of like nobody's offended by it anymore. It used to be way more scandalous, you know. These days it's like people go specifically to see it. So
yeah, here the like evening ride, which is the one that everyone knows about, has become somewhat of like this weird, like people come and kind of lurk at everyone like gathering and getting ready to go for the ride. But before the big nighttime ride, there are smaller group rides that all connect up and then loop into the bigger ride, and that's what I did, and it was super fun. Way better than the like, because at night, by the time like the nighttime ride is huge, like tens of thousands of people, and lots of them have ingested some liquid courage or smokable courage or other forms of things to make them feel okay about being naked in the world. And also, many of them have not ridden bikes since the last naked bike ride, and combining those things is as much of a kitten herding nightmare as you might imagine.
Well, I have one other thing for show and tell, and actually there's a question involved with it. My kiddo found this for me, and he was out in a park, and I've never seen it before. So it's very clearly from a madrone tree. Madrona, everybody says it differently. But it's just the knot. And it's got the hole through it. And somebody had obviously cut it off, but it was just lying on the ground. And he was like, oh, my dad would like this because he's an awesome kid. And he's right. And I'm just wondering what, obviously the thing that comes to mind immediately is the hagstone, right? I mean, the hole that you can look through. What would the equivalent of a hagstone be if it's wooden, like a tree knot? And what could we use it for? I was just tossing that out there because I haven't figured it out yet. And I thought this would be fun for show and tell. I should find out what everybody thinks at Wufo.
To think about that.
So
what? So do you know that? Isn't there another word for hagstone? I can't remember.
There's adderstone.
Adderstone.
Yeah.
And the adderstone is supposed to be that you can see to the other, the other realm or something. Is it more specific than that?
I don't know.
I'm just wondering if this will show a different thing or
That's what I was wondering. Is it because when I do hagstones, typically I see stuff over water more often. Because that's just kind of I've heard that story before. I don't want to rehash that just at the moment, but I'm wondering if this would be more for seeing things in the woods. So
right.
That's what it made me think, is that just there are different environments in which different kinds of creatures might thrive. A hagstone from the beach at the ocean might be best for viewing, I don't know, water sprites or things, things from that environment. Versus you might have a better chance of glimpsing more a green man. Yeah, dryad.
Well, I got that book. I'm not gonna bother going to get it, but there's a book that says 9 ways to charm a dryad or something like that. And it's kind of it is a little kind of, it looks like, the cover is 90s Llewellyn books.
Oh, was that
kind of. Oh, I missed you. You just broke up for a second, Kai. I missed the question.
Sorry, I think my internet went wonky. Is that the weird book that we found not this most recent time, but the one before when you came to visit at house that was printed in the 70s?
Yeah, that's the one. And it's just like it's very like the cover is it's a little unfortunate actually. I think that the cover was, I mean, I hate to say cheesy, but it was cheesy. But the content is actually really good. It's about, how to go out there and relate to your trees in your area, and to, sort of communicate with the tree spirits. And, since I've been getting so into the whole Greco-Hellenistic tradition, like the idea that it's dryads and stuff was kind of right up my alley personally. But so yeah, that's another. Maybe I'll read that book, and that would be good. We should do an experiment. Write something up, and maybe we could all. That would actually, that might be an interesting long-term writing experiment. Going out and like getting to know a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, I super recommend that. Like that is most certainly part of my like practice, if I can call it that, is both like having like specific like tree friends or whatever, but also like a specific area that I'll go back to and visit all the time and really get to know. Like you've talked about like getting to know it through all of the seasons. Like you think about that when you're doing permaculture in a place where you live, but I think it's also really valuable to connect. Like I'm so fortunate to live near so many like public parks and all of these like beautiful spaces. Like over the last year, I've spent a lot of time in the one of the areas that was burned along the Clackamas River in the it was burned in 2020 and like is only now just getting open, but it's been really interesting to kind of keep going back regularly and seeing it transform through these different seasons.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Good night, Kiki.
Night, Kiki. It was so awesome to have you here. All right. Cool. This is definitely a Wufo that makes me put on my think cap.
Yeah.
We should tell, like, so I went downtown to Seattle, to the waterfront. We almost never go downtown. It's probably been like years and years and years since I was downtown. And on the Seattle waterfront, there's a great wheel now, like this Ferris wheel. And like my kiddo loves it. So, we go on that every now and again. But then there's all these like touristy stores, like the typical waterfront touristy kind of stores. And one of them had an entire section that was all like cryptids. And normally it's just Bigfoot. When you come out here, every little tourist t-shirt shop has like, I went to Seattle and Bigfoot saw me, that kind of thing. But this was like, they had all the cryptids. There was like a Flatwoods Monster shirt, and they had some Mothman stuff. They had the sky squid, which is, I guess, a Seattle thing. Like squids that like live
yeah.
And they had this hat, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get this hat. It's so fun. And so I got it, and like we had a Zoom meeting about Wufo that evening, and I came on, and like Kai was going to be there, and then they turned back on their camera and like had the same hat, and
the way that I understand it, the person who designs these is the partner of my favorite local weed shop. So she sells all of her art through there. And also like it's the first one I've ever been to where they do kind of like coffee shops in different places where they like have rotating art from different artists on one wall. Like it's real fun. But yeah, I had been wanting one of these for a while, and I think I got it like probably the week that you got yours. Like it was a weird sync up.
Yeah. This is, it's a great, it kind of reminds me a little of Gravity Falls of Bill Cipher, you know, the kind of bad guy in Gravity Falls. He has an eye like this. And that's what drew it to me originally. And we've been rewatching Gravity Falls. Gosh, it really holds up. It's such a great show. If you're someone who hasn't yet seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Gravity Falls and Craig of the Creek.
Craig of the Creek is so good. So good.
Love them both. Also,
and
Hilda is like in that same.
Owl House. Owl House has been phenomenal.
I have heard that. I haven't watched it yet.
So there's Owl House and Amphibia. Both series are excellent.
I have seen Amphibia, which is cute.
And those series both are in the Gravity Falls world.
Oh.
Owl House actually has one of the main characters in Owl House actually dated Grunkle Stan, or went on a date with Grunkle Stan or something. From Gravity Falls. Yeah. So this means like nothing to so many people.
I like that you're nerding out about it.
But we're totally nerding out. I also want to nerd out sometime about the Star Trek Discovery, which I'm watching for the first time. Have you all seen that?
I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen the first couple of seasons, but not since they came out. When you posted about that, I was like, oh, I should probably rewatch. I love the whole tardigrade thing.
It blew my. It was kind of mind blowing. Like I had heard it before, but you know, you hear people say like, "Oh, you got to see it because of this," and I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't want. I felt like I was going to get too built up for it, but now that enough time has passed, I dived in, and the whole idea of like the ship travels along like a mycelial spore network, like an intergalactic mycelial spore network, and. Whoa. The only way they can actually pilot the ship through the network is by harnessing the chemical map created by a giant space tardigrade. And so the tardigrade acts as the computer that moves the navigation system for this ship. And the main engineer is named Paul Stamets, who after Paul Stamets.
Wow.
And I had no idea that it was like that. That's like liminal ecology 101 stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where they take it. But it's also the most stressful Star Trek show I've ever seen.
Wow.
Like it's very stressful.
Yeah, I feel that way about Picard. I watched the first couple episodes and I was like, oh, this feels more like Star Wars than Star Trek. Like much more like battle-y and like.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite of all of the Star Trek is Voyager because it's like, it's cozy in a way. Like it's very much focused on, even though there's like drama and violence or like, you know, that there's like conflict happening, it's so much more about like the characters, like relationships and inner lives. And I love all of the holodeck stuff, that weirdness that goes on. And I feel.
What about Deep Space Nine? Deep Space Nine, though, have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, Deep Space Nine is like a close.
There's a whole episode where Roms just starts a union. That's the episode.
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, and a couple of the Deep Space Nine episodes from like the second or third season are like what's happening now, where they go back in time and there's, you know, entire portions of the cities have just been like abandoned, and that's where they just put all the undesirables, and all the rich people live in comfort in the rest of the world. And it's like, oh, this is happening right now.
Yeah. I've gotten.
Good night, Janet.
Night, Janet. I've heard George Takei speak a few times about like how much kind of like social justice was important to Gene Roddenberry. Kind of like you talk a lot about the creator of the Twilight Zone. I feel them like they're very
Rod
similar.
Serling.
Yeah,
Rod Serling like started the Twilight Zone so that he could talk about social justice without getting kicked off the air. All of his earlier play, like he wrote a play, I think, about Emmett Till, and nobody would show it. And so he changed all the characters into Jewish people, and then they'd show it because it was just after World War or two, and so fascinating stuff. I haven't started Last of Us.
I'm into it.
I haven't either.
Like third episode though, it's like highly recommended.
I kind of want to wait until it's all out, or at least the whole first season, so I can like just dive in.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us nerd out like this, y'all.
No, it's cool. Good. It should be chill here. We're good. We are gonna play a game, I think. If we're gonna, if we want to do that, if people want to participate and play along with us. You guys want to do that? I could talk about it real quick.
Yeah, so I think that's
on Mastodon. I saw someone post this thing about this kind of game, or like this series of games that I had never heard of before, and so I kind of started looking into it. And I guess they're called like solo TTRPGs, like tabletop role-playing games. You play by yourself. There's no dungeon master like in D&D, and they're kind of like the ones that I was seeing were like one sheet with the rules are just like one sheet, very simple, and there are these like one player games that you play that are also like writing, almost like writing prompts. And some like the first one I saw was so exciting. It's like the whole idea of it is like you're the last tea shop in kind of like the afterlife of someone moving through the afterlife, and they're about to go to like the other side, and they're stopping in at your tea shop, and you kind of roll dice to figure out like what kind of character it is, what kind of mood they're in, like some random objects that may be involved with their story or not. And then you just kind of spend an hour working through questions with this imaginary character that you're kind of tapping into with your subconscious, and based on what you've rolled, and kind of write for a period of time. And like one of the phrases that this person was talking about when he was talking about these kinds of games is you write to find out. And I've just been obsessed with this because it's like it's kind of this whole thing about like improvising and using your intuition, and kind of what we're doing with like, I feel like when we play these kinds of games with like even like Estes method and stuff, and you kind of are like getting this like random stuff coming out, and then we're kind of creating a story and like using our intuition and like storytelling. And it feels like these games make me think like, oh, we're already kind of doing that. like the Liminal Spirit Oracle, or just what we did the other week with like the Wufo mash thing is almost kind of one of these, or could be turned into one of those, or the Resonant Spirit Oracle, where you find out the spirit that's living in your house and like what they were trying to tell you based on the objects that you find, by rolling. That is almost like one of these things. So I just think there's a whole possibility, a whole world here of like creating these things to like engage with spirits or entities. And I don't know. And I like the book that Jeremy found, like the how this divination thing is kind of related to games. They're kind of like, it's kind of the same thing, or at least very closely aligned. So anyways, there's one Kai brought. Oh, and the tea shop one, that person is on, I found them on Mastodon and they followed me. So I was going to see if I'm going to reach out to them and see if they'll come, and maybe we could play that one.
That would
see
be
if
fun.
I don't know if I haven't asked them yet, but I think that would be so cool if they came and we played with them.
Yeah.
It's such a neat thing. So Kai, you have one though, and it really fits, I think, with Wufo. So
yeah, I found this one after like you shared something and I went down a rabbit hole. But this one is called An Exchange of Gifts, and the game creator is Portia Elin. The premise is you're a traveler Your small ship carries you from planet to planet, where you encounter cultures and civilizations different from your own. And using a standard deck of cards, you learn about and exchange gifts with each culture before moving on. Record your observations and reflections in a travel log. So that's kind of the idea. And then you draw 5 cards, and each of those cards represents some different characteristics, and there are some prompts to kind of help you think about those. So what I was thinking is I have a deck of cards, and I'm happy to draw and share those for people, but we could also pause for a minute and let people, if people wanted to go get, if you have a deck of playing cards, I think I was thinking about it. You could use a tarot deck without the major arcana in it as well.
That was going to be my next question. It's based on the suits, though.
Yeah. So you just have to decide, you'd have to decide what the I guess cups would be hearts, probably. I feel like spades have a kind of pentacle-y vibe.
Traditionally, the spades are swords.
Oh, okay. There are rules.
They're stabby. Well, no, traditionally. I mean, the spades are swords because they're stabby.
Okay.
Pentacles are the wait, I got that wrong. Spades are swords. Cups are hearts, definitely. The emotion and the shape.
Yeah.
Pentacles are diamonds, right?
Pentacles are diamonds. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's like coins and money.
Coins and money. And then clubs are staves or wands because it's like a stick, a club.
Interesting.
So that's how I always so you could just use that.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get my deck out.
Now I want to use a tarot deck. Now that we've had this conflab, I'm gonna go switch it up.
It almost adds another layer, or could potentially.
Yeah, so if people want to get cards or tarot cards,
use a different deck.
Yeah, I've been thinking about trying to make some of these games.
Yeah.
I had that. I don't know if you saw. I was texting you while you're on vacation, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I had an idea for one where basically the game is that you're stuck in a simulation right now, and that there are certain memories about your past life or something embedded in the matrix here, but you have to decrypt them. And so what you need to do is, roll dice to get a magic sentence, and then that sentence you get, you plug it into an AI image generator and have it make an image. And then that image is kind of like an unlocked memory from your past life, and then you're supposed to write about it.
Oh, that's a cool one.
So whatever, it's kind of like you're using the fabric of reality to kind of hack into it and find out memories from this, character from your past life or something. So I just figure there's all these kind of weird games you could create. I don't know, because I think this whole world, the imaginal world and accessing it, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm rant. I just think it's I'm so excited about this right now.
Don't be sorry. I think this is fascinating, and it's super up my alley.
I just think there's a part of my brain that when you tap into that subconscious part of your brain, especially when writing and you're not conscious of what you're making connections, just weird things bubble up and you just put it in and go for it. It's kind of like being able to dream while you're awake. And I love it.
I mean, that sense of getting into that flow state, which I think is kind of what you're describing, is also been scientifically proven that it's good for us and it makes us happier.
So what's our process here once we're all squared away?
So if you have your cards handy, so we're gonna we're gonna pick 5 all together. So the first, I'm gonna just do them one at a time. So the first one is the Traveler card. This card represents you, where you've come from, what you seek, the values of your own culture. So the first card you draw is about you. And I'm going to tell you some additional characteristics based on the card that I drew, and then I'll read them all out, I guess, so you can pick the ones that are relevant to you. So I drew the Ace of Swords from the Next World Tarot deck. Fun sort of
cool
Swiss Army knife vibe. So the one you said swords are
spades.
So I'm going to read spades first because I'm in charge here. Your home world is dying. Perhaps you're looking for another world to settle, or perhaps you've given up hope of return and know you will spend your life a wanderer. And then so that represents the reason why I'm traveling. And then the number part, so the ace, the 1, is about it indicates the primary value of your culture. And so the idea is that you reflect on how your value influences your mission. And so the number 1 is family. So I've got a dying home world. Family is really important in the culture I come from. So the idea is that then we kind of take, 5-10 minutes and do a little, what might this be about? I'll go ahead and kind of slowly read through the other suits and numbers so you can get a sense if you're playing along at home. If you've got a diamond, which is a pentacle, you seek spiritual answers, God perhaps, or deeper truths of physics. You want to know the why of the universe and existence. If you do a heart/cup, you are curious without agenda. All knowledge is valuable to you. And last but not least, long ago, your ship received a distress beacon, and although you arrived at the coordinates and found nothing, you still hope to provide rescue or care for those who need it. So one of those 4 things is your reason for travel. Ace is family as a primary value. If you got a 2, it's innovation. If you got a 3, it is independence. If you've got a 4, discovery. 5 is art and music. 6 is material goods. 7 is honor. 8 is gift giving. 9 is nature. 10 is children. And then the Jack is storytelling. Queen is creativity. And the King is knowledge.
So now you kind of just write for a couple of minutes about with these things in mind from the card that you pull. So should we just do that for 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, and yeah, so you're kind of developing like the persona of your traveler.
Are there things we should be considering, like our name and what we look like, and or just kind of go for it?
I
There's no
mean,
prompts like that or anything.
yeah, it doesn't really. There's nothing that steers you in any particular direction. I think you could go in a very like kind of physical direction like that. You could also just you could go in a very narrative direction. I think it's
Sure.
up to you.
Cool. Okay.
I'm good whenever anybody else is.
I can be done. I feel like these are like such wide open prompts. We could write for
Yeah.
a very long time. So the next one is landscape.
Landscape.
Um,
Garrett, you're really blurry. Are you there still, or frozen? I think Garrett might be frozen.
oh,
Oh no, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys see me? Am I?
You're just like your image is frozen for me.
You were a blob squatch for a minute.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. I just was like, I want to make sure he's here.
It's all right.
Still?
That's better.
Still? Okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could just write out like what we could do the writing part of this afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
People could do as like homework, but we could just come up with what see what I'm saying? Like for each of these topics, just writing down and then
instead of taking a break after each one, we can just kind of give people
and then you can get a weird words account and you can post what if you want, share what you came up with.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to put mine up on Weird Words tomorrow. Cool. So landscape, you were saying?
Yes, landscape is the second card. This card represents the landscape of the planet where you arrive. Observe the relationship between the people and the land. Imagine the kinds of natural features and animals that might live here. How might the people have evolved or adapted in the landscape? So if you draw a diamond/pentacle, the relationship between the people and the land, it has to do with advanced technology. If you drew a heart/cup, the people exist in a symbiotic relationship with another living creature. It could be a plant, an animal, a fungus, etc. If you have a club/stave, stick, wand, a great and omnipresent danger guides how people live. For example, frequent earthquakes, poisonous animals, seasonal fires, etc. And if you got a spade or a sword, then this is a world of abundance. And then for the numbery bits, ace is extreme heat or cold. 2 is very little gravity. Sorry, I've sped up. I'm gonna slow myself down. So 1, extreme heat or cold. 2, very little gravity. 3, dense forests. 4, caves deep beneath the earth. 5 is glaciers. 6 is vast oceans. 7 is sand. 8, cliffs. 9, strong winds. 10, islands. Jack is rivers. Queen is giant plants. And king is canyons. CJ got a 6 of hearts. Symbiotic relationships with another living creature in a vast ocean. That sounds fascinating. All right. Third card is culture. This card represents the culture of the people you meet in this landscape. They might be people who look like you, but they might also be deeply unlike you. Sentient trees, insects with a collective consciousness, lizards basking in the sun of a strange star. Learn about how they organize their culture and what they value. Perhaps they tell you what they call themselves. So in this one, the suit represents the organization of this culture, how they make decisions and think about their internal relationships. For diamond/pentacle, an elaborate political hierarchy drives protocol and everyday life in this culture. Hearts/cups, lineage determines who the decision makers are in this culture. Perhaps lineage is defined by blood or perhaps by another method. For wands/clubs, this culture is one of outsiders. They exist at the margins of another unseen culture. And for spades, swords, religion or spirituality defines the organization of this culture. Perhaps formal hierarchies and roles, or perhaps in a more fluid way. For these, the rank of the card indicates the primary value of this culture. Reflect on how this value impacts the way the culture overall is organized. 1 is family, ace, whatever. 2, innovation. 3, independence. 4, discovery. 5, art or music. 6, material goods. 7, honor. 8, gift giving. 9, nature. 10 is children. Jack is storytelling. Queen is creativity. And king is knowledge. And then for the 4th and 5th cards, the 4th one will be representatives of the culture present you with a gift. Describe the gift, explore how it connects to their values. Given your value and purpose, how do you feel about the gift? What do you learn from it? So this is the gift that you're receiving. And the same parameters are going to apply for the 5th card, which is the gift that you offer in return. So similarly, you'll want to describe the gift and why you're giving it. How will the recipients respond to the gift? Will they like it, find it useful, be offended? In this one, diamonds or pentacles are a tool or knowledge, and that's the type of gift that you're giving. Cups or hearts are the type of gift is a story or a secret. For clubs or wands, art, music, visual art, sculpture, performance, something beyond our imagination, perhaps. And spades or swords is food. This could be a prepared dish, a seed, a plant, or a live creature, even. And for this one...
Can you go over those? So these are for both of them. They're the same.
Yeah.
So can you just go over those one more time? Because I missed it.
Totally.
Or just a quick overview.
Yeah. The type of gift, if you got a diamond or pentacle, is a tool or knowledge. If you got a heart or a cup, it's story or secret. If you got a spade or a wand, art, music, visual art, sculpture, performance, or something beyond our imagination. And spades are, swords are food. Prepared dish, a seed, a plant, a live creature.
A snack.
Snacks.
Perfect.
And then the rank of the card in this one indicates the origin of the gift. So 1 is ancestors, 2 is dreams, 3 is the gods, 4 is small children or teenagers, 5 is home in quotes, 6 is a far land, 7 is a long dead people, 8 is an ancient tree, 9 is an animal, 10 a secret ritual, Jack a mountain spring, Queen a body of water, King deep within the planet.
What was that?
What? Did I miss something?
Oh, I just heard a funny noise.
I heard it too, but who did that? I don't know who did it.
It might have been me.
Oh, it was cool.
I picked this up. I could not recreate it.
It's a Wufo miracle, folks.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to write something about this.
Yeah, me too. I've got tons of ideas already in my head.
I'll read you the little outro. So once you've written all of this, it's time for your departure. When you have finished exchanging gifts, you thank your hosts and prepare to depart. What have you gained and learned? What do you leave behind? Ahead of you are thousands of worlds which could hold this answer to your mission. How are you changed by this planet, this gift? Perhaps you will land on another world right away by dealing yourself a new landscape, culture, and gift cards. Perhaps you will carry this gift and moment through your travels. And it was inspired by Alone Among the Stars by Takuma Okada, which is a super great book.
That's the creator?
Yes. That is so this, it's not quite a fan fiction, but like the Portia Elon, who created this set gives credit to being inspired by that book.
Oh, I gotcha. Put the link down there. Did you put that up, Garrett?
Yeah, I put that up. So that's where you can get this yourself.
And it is one that she offers for name your own price. So you can get it for free or donate as much as you are willing and able and comfortable to do.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited about this.
I can think of a number of games that we could create about the map.
Yeah, what do you have? You have an idea for?
Well, no, I'm just thinking about randomly picking a site and then like visiting that site.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like you could almost do it like a guided meditation, but like going to the encounter that comes up.
Oh,
you could. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's just, yeah. So like you could actually, write as a tool of investigation of something that's on the map.
I was also thinking you could use this to prepare to do a liminal spirit oracle session. Like you could potentially use this like to get information, especially like the landscape and like the culture and gifts information, and you could even maybe like use the gifts information to inform like things that you should look for when you're doing the spirit oracle reading, and something that you should bring with you, and like and gifts. Like, yeah,
I like that because it like limits, you're like, I'm looking, it's like a scavenger hunt or something. It's like I'm looking for something in this realm or how this relates to this concept. And so like focuses your attention on that. I think it's such a cool, I really can see like this, something about this being used for investigating.
It almost makes me think it should be included. Like I can almost see, like the grimoire be like the liminal spirit oracle and the resident spirit oracle and this, but with like expanded symbols, like expansion, on what the meanings are, and other scenarios that you could use to generate them.
Yeah, Sarah, I think we could totally like adapt a version of this that would be like Wufo applicable, liminal spirit applicable. I think there's a lot of fun to be had. I also think it's really interesting to me as like a writer and creator to think about like going back and using the same like prompt like repeatedly. I think that could be really interesting to kind of like keep, just like we were talking earlier about like having a relationship with your special tree or like a specific area, to make this kind of writing exercise part of your practice in a way, and part of your like way of connecting. It could be really interesting to see how it evolves over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
I'm like, I am loving all of the stuff that's happening in the chat. I'm like, I want to read all of these things.
Yeah, and I want to read them on weird words.
Also, I will say, if people want to work on these a little bit and bring them to writing group tomorrow, I'm more than happy to spend a little time for people to share anything that they've written on these as part of that. It could be fun.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the sign up again down there.
The sign. Yeah, down at the crawl.
Yeah, the crawl.
Is that
people have to write to us to get a blog, right? They have to just info@liminal.earth.
Yeah, or just ask on the Discord or
DM
us on whatever you're on.
And I know that Jeremy has like preached the niceness of writing on, what is it, free rightly? What's
it? Write freely.
Yeah. Write freely. But it is a really like simple, fun platform, and it's a nice, for me anyway, I like dipping my toe into like a little bit of coding, but I don't have to do it real hard. Like a little bit of Markdown here, a little bit of CSS there. Like it's nice to, I've done some boot camps and things, but it's nice to like flex those parts of my brain because I don't get to use them.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I can use HTML. I still remember that.
Have either of you checked out? There's a paid app that I think has some built-in, from what I was gathering about it, it's for like any Write Freely account, and it maybe has some built-in, italics, bold, like some of those kind of markdown sort of things, so that you don't have to hard code, like write it in.
Huh. Like rich text kind of?
I think so. I don't know. It's a paid app, and I was like, yeah, creators should get paid for things, but I want to check out the free version before I do.
Right. I mean, the people who made Write Freely have like a paid hosted version. You can go sign up there if you want, and you can add images and stuff. You can add images on ours. You just have to put them somewhere on the internet first.
Yeah. There's no native image hosting on ours.
Yeah, I kind of like though that it's just text. There's some markdown. If you want to bold, you can bold something. I think you just
underscore in front of it and underscore after it. It's very very.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I like that it's just text, but I like if that's intimidating for people. I think that there is an app that might be a little bit friendlier.
Totally, 100%. Yeah. I think I like the limitation though of like not having pictures. I think Jeremy said this because it like that is almost something that made writing blog posts intimidating. So you have to like find the picture and upload it and make sure it's not like the text is not going around it or something. It's just like a lot of noodling and you're just not writing stuff. You're like messing with all this other crap.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think Jeremy said this. Can I just describe what's in this picture instead? And then just focus on writing, do you really need a picture here? So
I was just saying, it's like it forces you to be editorial.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's going to be like a pain in the ass to put this picture here, then I'll find a different way to do it. But if it's like, if the picture is important, then it's worth doing that extra.
Something I think a lot about is like, I love doing projects where I get to blend mediums and kind of pull in, like maybe there's some sound embedded in this like story that you're reading, or maybe you're like doing concrete poetry and like using found object. I don't know. Like I'm in, but I also really respect that they're like picking the right medium for the story you want to tell. And I think that it's a platform that like you're saying, just really encourages you. Like, this is the place for a story that you primarily want to use the written word to tell. And I think, it's cool.
Yeah. So if anybody wants one, Let us know. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. No, that's all I was gonna point that out.
Same.
Yeah. And then Shanna had a question about the journal.
Yeah. They're coming. Sorry. We had a printer stuff. It's coming.
It was unexpectedly delayed, so
yeah.
Sorry. But they're coming out.
I have them right here. So
yeah,
I can send that tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
They're on the way. We should refund shipping though.
Yeah.
On that. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. It's tough to go into.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. And patrons also, got a free copy of the PDF too. And if anybody wants like one of the PDFs, just ask that. That's fine. I don't mind giving those out. Happy to do it. We have a few other things that are going to come out soon too. And we also just changed. We should probably mention we just changed our Patreon.
Oh yeah.
This is actually it's probably more of a big deal. We should have mentioned it sooner. So we are now doing essentially it's a pay what you can model. So go to the tiers and you'll still see, tiers for 1, 5, 10, 25, I think, and maybe 50. I don't know. You'll still see all the tiers, but what we've decided is that everybody now gets everything.
Yeah.
We don't want to we don't want to restrict ourselves in some ways. I don't know. How would you explain it, Garrett? You said it better than I did when we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, I think we're not going to have timed things that come out at certain times, but we just make stuff all the time, and when we make it and we feel like it's good enough, we'll just send it to everyone, no matter what you feel comfortable contributing every month.
Right.
So
exactly.
We put out a zine, because sometimes we're like, oh, we have to do this thing, even though we're really right now we want to work on the zine, but we said we would put out this other thing every month or whatever. This will just let us we can just do the zine and it's done and we like it. We can send it to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason why we switched it over. And just no matter what people feel comfortable, and anyone who wants to be in the Discord can come, but it's just if you want to support all the stuff we're doing, everyone should be getting everything.
Yeah. We just want to make it as accessible as possible for as many people as possible. Because I mean, I know it seems kind of cliched, but the community is actually kind of what we're getting out of this too. Is being able to produce cool stuff and delight people who we like. So the more people that we can do that for, the finances and all that stuff is less of an issue for me.
Yeah.
So. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, there was the side quest.
Oh yeah, what is it? I didn't look at it.
Anybody do that? It's the crescent moon with Jupiter and Venus.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw somebody on Mastodon posted a really cool picture. They managed to snag a picture of it with a couple of contrails. It's a cool shot. I reposted it.
Ooh.
I didn't even realize it was related to the side quest.
Yeah. It's still my weather app says right now that it's snowing outside. It's not, but we have snow weather here, snow clouds. So I didn't get a chance to see anything. Did you guys got hit down there, right, Kai?
Yeah. I've got a good 5-6 inches of snow outside right now, and it's supposed to stay all day tomorrow. This is our once every 1 to 2 years that snows in the city and the whole city shuts down and people go skiing through the streets. This is our time.
Yes. We've already had ours, so I don't know if we're going to get ours this time. It snowed last night, but it was just, barely half an inch, if anything.
Yeah, this was really unexpected. Like, this is way more than people were calling for here in Portland.
Wow. Well, were you gonna say something, Garrett? Did you guys get any?
I didn't get anything. No.
It's so weird. I mean, we're so close, but the weather is so different.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I think I'm gonna
go try and see if there's anything.
Anyhow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go look. Think about my my exchange of gifts writing thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll probably be here next week. We'll try to let everyone know. And hopefully Bex will be able to, and Adler will be able to come at some point. There's just been everyone's busy or having but yeah, I think people are planning on coming when they can. And I think that's going to be it's probably going to be a little bit more looser coming forward, but we love hanging out with everyone. So
right now, I think of us right now like the crocuses. Like we're just we're popping out a little bit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You see him, you're walking over some mulch and you're like, dang, a splash of purple. That's us right now.
Right. Yeah, that's me.
Be the splash of purple in the late winter, early spring that you wish to see in the world.
That's exactly right. This was super fun, everybody, and yeah.
Cool.
I'm excited.
I missed everyone so good.
I know. It's good to see everyone.
I just love basking in the glow of I kind of miss being in the comment section.
Yeah, well, thanks for joining us, Kai.
Yeah. I love it. Thanks for inviting me. Always a pleasure. I'm excited to see everybody at Weird Words tomorrow if you can make it. I promise to put the agenda together tonight/tomorrow morning, so you have a little advance warning.
All right, sounds good.
Good night, everybody.